Story 1. Every girl I have ever been with does this thing where, as soon as they fall asleep, they increase in temperature by about 400 degrees and become untouchable. I think it's an evolutionary trait. Edit. Thank you for the awards, kind folks. This is my first time receiving them. Story 2. It is cute and nice, but not going to last long. I am a human space heater, and we are both going to get too hot to stay that way within a half hour or so. Story 3. Best thing ever. Favorite part is when they have their hand on the chest too, and as they start to fall asleep, it starts twitching. Almost the way a cat needs it things. Story 4. It feels like you are a safe space for her, a source of peace and comfort. It is super nice. Then, after 4.5 minutes, various places are going numb and you are sweating because humans give off a ton of heat. Story 5. It's the best. Sure, I want to roll over and get more comfortable, but I cannot. I have essential duties as a man pillow to perform. I don't know how to explain it, but I just feel like a strong tree with a super cute panda bear napping on it. Can't be moving around now, can we? Story 6. Have a friend with no account that wants to contribute. It feels great. She has soft hair. It always smells so good, and it's pretty darn cute, but she has a tendency to roll. She did so once when my penis was at half-mast and had the nerve to get angry at my uninhibited shriek as my helpless member was ground into my leg. Story 7. One of my ex-girlfriends would always fall asleep on my chest. I didn't fall asleep so early, so I would kiss the top of her head or just bury my nose in her hair, because it smelled so nice while I watched TV or YouTube. And one night I yawned insanely hard, and in the process I inhaled a full strand of her hair. I had to pull that out like a rope, like I was some second-hand magician without a job. She laughed for a week about that. After that, I always tipped my head when I felt like yawning. So, yes, it's a wonderful feeling, but I got post-traumatic stress disorder from it. Story 8. My wife used to do this all the time, and it was so comfy, and I would sleep super well. But ever since we had our first child, it hasn't been as comfortable for her. And it is unfortunate that we cannot do it anymore. Story 9. Single as of right now, but I remember this too damn well. I always felt like being in love is great. But man, your possible future wife sleeping on your chest not only makes you feel like a man, but also like being loved. This mixture kills any kind of sadness, I almost certainly guarantee. Story 10. It's cute, sure, but uncomfortable quite fast. And she would honestly only do that if she was so exhausted she couldn't stop herself. In which case I would move her to the bed where she would be way more comfortable. Story 11. As a wife, it's complicated when my husband rests his head on my chest. For your information, I am about 157 centimeters, 5 foot 2 inches, weight 50 kilograms, 110 pounds. My husband is 178 centimeters, 5 foot 10 inches, weighs 72 kilograms, 159 pounds of muscles. It starts lovely and romantic because we are both affectionate. After what feels like an eternity but is actually about 30 seconds, I realize I can't breathe but find myself blessed to have such a cute partner. Cue in about 2 minutes of trying to convince myself that oxygen is overrated and that all I need is love. Then about 3 minutes of huffing and puffing, convincing him to stay because I am comfy and can breathe just fine, just to give up the next minute. Overall, great experience. And I cherish these moments. I know this is a question for men, but thought someone might find this chuckle-worthy. Edit. Few corrections. Thank you, Laura, who pointed out I'm 5 foot 2 inches, not 5 foot 5 inches. Story 12. Haha. I accidentally did this once. But I'm 5 feet and he's 6 foot 6 inches, and he was playing on his phone while I was napping on his chest. So he said it took a minute to realize I was asleep because I don't snore, and I wasn't heavy enough to make a big difference. It's definitely a shared favorite memory. I think it bonds you more than sex. Story 13. Only happened once, but it's the most pleasant feeling I've ever felt. Nothing can compare. It was so peaceful and comfortable. It was at a park, no less. Story 14. My wife is quite petite, about half my weight, so her falling asleep on my chest is one of the absolute highlights of the relationship. There's just something about knowing that you are a comfortable surface to fall asleep on. I like to massage her back while she nods off, kneading her knots, and when I get a sore spot, she just moans. It's the best way to fall asleep. I have the upper body tone to support her, so it's nothing to me, but if our roles were reversed, I'd have to be mindful that I'm possibly stopping her from breathing. Story 15. Sometimes it's great. Other times I just want to go to sleep. Is there a difference between a girlfriend falling asleep on your chest and a boyfriend falling asleep on your chest? Story 16. I think I can remember this happening once, and it felt so damn good. I truly had to hold back tears. I felt needed, trusted, and loved all in that one moment. I understand that this sounds extremely overdramatic, but it truly felt that great. Story 17. Every morning after waking up, my girlfriend snuggles her way onto my chest. She adjusts my arms to a convenient position for her and tucks her head in. Feels so cute and lovely, just like a purring cat. Oh, she throws an arm and a leg onto me, and that's the cherry on top. Story 18. Not great, as I like to sleep on my left side. I will say, when your kids fall asleep on you, it's the warmest feeling in the world. It doesn't matter how much caffeine or energy I have, it makes me sleepy too. Instant nap time. Story 19. I'm a girl and used to cuddle with my gay guy friend all the time as we fell asleep. He said he liked spooning me and having me fall asleep on his chest because it made him feel all manly and protective. He was definitely gay, by the way. I lived with the guy and we had thin walls. Story 20. I don't know about girlfriends, but when my boyfriend falls asleep on my chest, it feels amazing. It's like he feels secure and safe enough to fall asleep on me, and I'll make sure he's safe. Story 21. So I'm not in a relationship, but I've been on a few dates where we would cuddle and she would fall asleep on my chest, and I have to say it feels so good. Story 22. Imagine the warmth and comfort you get from a cat or dog curled up on your lap. Multiply that by 1,000. It's a sense of peace and belonging, while also making you feel strong. Edit. I cannot imagine it is much different for our lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender friends and family. It is a primal feeling. Story 23. It is one of the best feelings in the world. She had a traumatic past and has trouble sleeping as a result. She will put her arm on my chest and I will stroke it gently and feel the scars she has from self-harm in the past. I love knowing that she feels safe and at peace when she is laying with me. Story 24. Though I enjoy that immensely, I cannot fully go to sleep on my back, so after a while, I switch to the side spooning position and rapidly fall asleep that way. Story 25. Have you ever had a cat sit on your lap? It's the same thing. It's so cute, and you get all warm inside when it happens, but then an overwhelming feeling of being unable to move sets in. Then you're trapped until they decide to change location. Torture yet amazing. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Hope this helps. Story 26. Anyone notice how 5 minutes of cuddle time is closer to 30 minutes of actual time? Also, it makes me feel manly and more whole as a person. Honestly, I miss it more than sex. I can't wait for my fiancé to move here. Story 27. This is a top 5 thing a woman can do with her partner to make him feel like a man. Just think about what comes along with this position. She has to trust you, feel safe with you, be comfortable with you, and probably love you. She is resting not only on you but to you. She is being soothed by the beat of your heart. As a man, feeling my fiancée rests her head on my chest and wraps her legs around me is one of the most gratifying and intimate things we share together. I absolutely love it. I enjoy playing with her hair while she lays there, and it even rejuvenates me. There is only one thing that makes it even better. That's when we wake up to each other. Anyone can fall asleep and go to bed with practically anyone in the world, but when you find someone you actually want to wake up to, well, you found the one. Story 28. Depends on whether I'm having a good day or a bad one when it comes to my asthma and acid reflux. Good day? I absolutely love it, and may the gods show mercy on whoever would try to ruin it, because I certainly won't. Story 29. My husband loves it when I fall asleep on his chest. It started when my chronic pain left me in the hospital, and the only way I could fall asleep, even on strong painkillers, was on his chest. He would tolerate the heat all night so he knew I would get some sleep. Love that man. Story 30. Annoying as can be. I need at least a foot between us, or I'm going to feel very hot all night. I'll cuddle for a while, but eventually, my arm is going to fall asleep, and she turns into an oven. Story 31. Comfortable. Like it's the natural position to get ready for sleep. Not the correct position for actual sleeping, but it's the correct position to get comfortable and start drifting off. Story 32. Literally the best feeling in the world. When she snuggles her head into that nook between your chin and your shoulder. Yes, that one. And her hand is on your chest, your legs kind of intertwined with hers and her hair all up in your mouth while she sleeps away and you are dying of heat with a cramped arm. Would not trade it for the world. Story 33. If she's tired enough to sleep on me, then at some point either I'll fall asleep too, or she will roll over in her sleep. Basically, I just lay there and hope one of those two happens. She's like a cat, and I don't want to wake or move her. Story 34. I love this. She is so adorable. I do not want to wake you, but I cannot sleep in this position and I need to move. Okay, I really want to get to sleep, but really cannot do it like this. I might wake you up soon. Please wake up so I do not have to do it and feel bad. Okay, that is it. I cannot take it anymore. I have to move. Story 35. After 3 years, it still makes me feel like I am the luckiest guy alive. I always stay up watching videos on my phone so that I get a good half an hour of her snuggled up on my chest before I go to sleep. It makes me feel calmer and content. Convinced it makes it easier for me to go to sleep. Story 36. It is the best feeling ever. When she would also slide her hand under my shirt and rest her hand on my stomach, it takes cuddling to a whole other level of oxytocin and serotonin production. Story 37. It's the best feeling in the world. Feeling her calm down in her head after a long and stressful day. When she falls asleep to the sound of your comforting heartbeat, that feeling of love, warmth, and affection is, in my opinion, better than sex. Story 38. Probably one of the few times I think I know implicitly what inner peace is. She's actually asleep on my back right now. It's moments like this that give me a mental break, like a crisp, cold beer for the soul. Story 39. I've always been told I'm the perfect mix of thick and thin to sleep comfortably on. Quite proud of that. I haven't slept with a girl in almost 2 years, though. Story 40. Doesn't happen that often, but when it does, I prepare. Arm in a position where it's not going to fall asleep, phone close. Things like that. It's sweet and all, but I have to have something to do when I'm essentially immobilized. Story 41. I had a short girlfriend when I was in my 20s. She would always rest her head between my chest and shoulder, saying that she fit perfectly into my shoulder gap. Made me feel invincible, to be honest. Story 42. Love it means she feels safe and comfortable with me. I'll probably stroke her head too. But that doesn't mean eventually she will have to move though. I don't have as much padding there for her to rest. Laugh out loud. Story 43. It's fine for a little bit. Eventually, her hair gets a little annoying. It sort of goes all over. It's not like you just can't cut some off. She'll notice. Laugh out loud. Story 44. I love that there are exactly 2 answers and you can tell whether someone runs hot or cold based on those answers. It either feels like the best thing in the world or it feels like you're literally burning up like you're in hell. Story 45. It feels amazing, like I'm right and whole. We've been together 4 years, and it still feels this way. Sometimes she'll rub my chest in her sleep or fling her leg over me to get even closer, and I melt. Best feeling in the world, by far. For those that have overheating problems, try being the big spoon for actual sleeping. If it gets too hot, you can always leave her on her side and comfortably roll to your back. Story 46. My wife does this thing where she is like, "We should watch a movie." This is code for I want you to sit up on the bed and I am going to lay on your chest and take a nap. It is fine comfort-wise, I just make sure I have drinks and snacks within reach. Emotionally, it is wonderful. She snuggles up, I watch a movie, she gets her nap, and I suppose she feels safe with me, and she does not really care where my arm on her side rests. This will likely sound terrible to some, but the way she curls up, I can rest it on her hip, butt, or breast. And ladies, that might seem sexist, but it feels emotionally amazing to be allowed to cup your butt or breast. It is reassuring and downright pleasant. Story 47. It's amazing. I toss and turn in my sleep, but I don't if someone's on top of me. It's cute to see, and it makes me feel at ease. I'm single now, and I legitimately miss the cuddling more than the sex. Story 48. My watch warns me when my heart rate drops really low. The only time this has happened has been when she has fallen asleep on me. So super relaxing, and I love it. Story 49. Pleasant, warm, and fuzzy, but uncomfortable. I have a hard time sleeping on my back. She gets to fall asleep on her left. I'd rather be on my right. I do it for her. Story 50. Pure bliss. My wife has a lot of problems falling asleep, and the few nights we are apart, she most of the time doesn't sleep because she can't get comfortable or can't stop her mind from running. For some reason, every time she lays on my chest, it is like she takes 2 sleeping pills. Knowing that another person can feel that comfortable with you, that they fall asleep like that, is the most satisfying feeling in the world. Story 51. I feel like I have received the highest form of trust from her. Sure, it isn't too comfortable, but I don't mind. But if it's hot in the area, we're going to be melted together if we don't split. Story 52. I miss it, that's for sure. At the time, it made me feel whole, like time stopped but also went on forever, that all my worries and regrets just melted away. The only thing I could focus on was her and her heartbeat against mine. I really miss it. Story 53. Lots of negative answers here, but I honestly love it. Having the weight of her head on my chest and the warmth from her body, as we keep the room super cold at night, is calming and nice. Often, we wake up the same way in the morning,